And here we are. Good morning, good morning. We are continuing our tour, or our trip from Canada, Whitehorse, to Gold Coast, Australia with the Piper Aerostar for the AccuSim Challenge. It's a long trip, and I'm doing this for our VA, our VA, andressmeridian.org. It's a ferry flight. This aircraft is, or should be, based in Australia, but for some reason some pilot somewhere somehow flew it or transferred it to Canada, and I'm flying it back. We are in Bemambetsu, which is on the northern side of Japan. Let's see if I can show this. Yes. We flew here yesterday after a long flight all the way from Kamchatka. That flight is also recorded, so you can view it back if you want. From Bemambetsu, we're taking a VOR out on radial 240, crossing the island of Hokaido. And on the outskirts of Hokaido, on the southern end of this peninsula, we will land at Hakodate, which is a roughly 1 hour flight. Luckily there's now plenty more airfields than where we're coming from. Oh, I should turn this off. So that makes the flights shorter, and well, it will also suppress me pausing for you guys not seeing or viewing a video of someone flying over the water for 4 hours. From Hakodate there's also an VOR station we're tuning into, 112.3, and if the visibility is better, we can take an ILS, but otherwise we will just do a visual approach. Other particulars that we should do? No, nothing really, because I'm expecting that there will be a crossover between the two VORs. I think both of them are 120 nautical mile range stations, meaning that there's an overlap somewhere in between. We will be crossing over this city here, which I have no idea what it is. I should check that. I should have checked that. I'm gonna check that for all you people. That would be Nakasatsunai. Okay, we've heard that one. And on the other side here, this is Sapporo. This one is understandable, Sapporo, because also the airport. You have New Shitose, the big airport over here, but we're going to cross on that. We should be able to see it from the right when we pass over the mountain range here and over the coast. And then fly a short hop over the bay, over the peninsula, and then do the approach here to Hakodate. Right. The aircraft. Yeah. Here we go. I put in the engine warmers because we are still in wintry weather. Should be getting better and better the farther we go south. So I will battery up and see what it's. That's still low, 11 centigrade. But I'm gonna try and start. First we're gonna close the door. Now for our load, we have a full load today. 5 passengers and some baggage, and we didn't refuel. No need to. I'll just fly this along. I'm not cleaning the aircraft for as long as possible. And I checked the outside already. If I look at the maintenance base and inspect it, then there's a low voltage on the battery. Okay, gonna check that. Engine 1 is okay. Engine 2 is okay. It's not that low. Okay. Let's manage that though. Fuel on. And we can hear it. I will do a fuel pump over here. Half throttle. Beacon light on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull it a bit back. And starter. Come on, baby. Full mixture. Yeah, it's a bit bumpy. It's cold. You can hear it skipping a beat. Maybe it's even visible. Oh, it's running. Okay, turn this off. Take the heaters on. And the defroster so that the windows can defog a bit. I said defog, not extra fog. We'll see how that goes. Alternator on, so we can charge the battery now. And what else? We'll leave it be until the other engine is running too. Same thing. Forgot to take out the heater, I think. Oh, it's automatically out. Okay. On the Comanche it doesn't. On the Comanche the heater stays in even if you start it, which is weird, but okay, that's what it is. Okay. Take this away. Same procedure. Half throttle. Full mixture. Start the pump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take it off. Start her up. As soon as she comes over, full mixture, and bring her back to roughly 1000 RPM for warming it up. Pump off, and we are running. Instruments on, autopilot master on. Let's see, this is 276. This should slave up, but I can speed it up, of course, to get it to 276. Right. Now that we're running, I'll add some lights here. I'll add my pitoid. Prop the ice, fan, and cabin heater. This is all external lights. I thought that's not, no, nav light wasn't on. Now it's on. Yeah, okay. Don't need a lot of these, but I do like adding some instrument lighting. Headphones in. And we see the oil still blinking because it's not warmed up yet. So we're gonna wait until the oil is in the green for takeoff, but we can taxi on it. Okay, no steering is not responding. Oh yeah, because I did this. I have a little button on my yoke that I configured for the wheeling about. Now this will be something to master because there's no other aircraft that I have configured where the nose wheel steering is on the yoke instead of on the rudders. So but if you saw the video I made yesterday, it was horrible trying to steer it, so let's do it like this. Okay, now I need some frequencies, 2 to be exact. The first one being Boro, where I'm leaving from, and the next one is Hakodate, where I'm going to. 117.5 and 112.3. So I'm gonna configure those. 117.5. Plonk, here it goes. And 110.3. Did I say that correct? Double check all these numbers. 1112.3. Here we go. 1112.3. Now I need an outbound of 240 magnetic, so I'm gonna put this one to 240, and also on the heading, so I know where I have to go to. And also if I follow the radial out, this should be in the center, so that gives me something about drifting, wind drift. I'm not very worried about it because we're now flying VFR with actual VFR, not across mindless ocean. So that helps. I would very much want to like to hear this, but I don't. I'll have to check that on the forums or Discord for A2A, because I think I should hear the tone of the Morse code of the nav stations, but I don't hear them. Anyway, these are good. Temps are coming up, but I'm gonna close this one first. Then we are going to taxi out, and from what I've seen, runway 18 is the best feature where we landed on yesterday, meaning we have to taxi. Yeah, turn back and then taxi to the north along taxiway Alpha. Okay, we can do that. Double check if my PREP tool is working. Yes, it is. Power brake off. So now I'm steering this on the button, not on the rudder pedal. It's basically the same though when I entered it on the nose wheel steering instead of the A600 control. It is a bit more fluent now. This is a wonderful taxi route I'm taking, by the way. Very, very bad. Taxi light on. So I'm not using the rudder now, I'm just using the trippy thing. Trippy switch. Oh, hold on there. Don't get ahead of yourself. If I use the rudder, that's also there's almost no movement unless I use the brake, the differential braking. So this is getting used to, but of course it does have the advantage that when I use rudder on landing, it's not connected to the steering wheel, the nose wheel. So that would also mean that I don't get nose wheel deflection when I'm also using my rudder on takeoff and landing. So that, okay, that's kind of an advantage, I guess. I wanted to check something. Oh yeah. Fuel thing. Click this one. Because I don't really understand this thing yet. Oh, there's a cross here. I can't go here. Well, too late for that. Because there's simply no such thing that's less useful than useless than a runway behind you. So, or altitude above you. So now I can't use my hand for the throttles. So basically, if I go too fast, I just brake. Use my other hand where I normally use my throttles. Use it on the flippy switch for the nose wheel steering. You see it moving on the left hand, upper hand of the dash. You can hear it as well. Yeah, it's closed. Why would you close this? Why would you close the end of the runway? Okay. Parking brake set. Do we have green in the oil temps? Yes, we do. That means we can do our power test. 2000 RPM. Cycle the props 3 times. Do both at once. And 3. That's okay. So the props are working. Now, mag checks. I'll do them both as well because I've only got one button for it on my Alpha. So first 2 times to the right. Okay. Both. Left. Both. Drop is seen. Throttle full back. Engines are not dying. So that's good. Back up. Check all switches. This one is up. Auxiliary hydraulics ping is up. Hydraulics ping is up. Start the pumps. On. I've got pressure, amps, T's and P's okay. All good, all good, all good. I'm gonna measure this on ground speed because I don't need speed the time to station because we're going away from the station. Landing lights and strobe lights, cabin lights also on. Park and brake off. Here we go. So add a slight bit of throttle so that we'll be rolling, and then I'm using the tipper thingy to steer us on the ground. This works quite well, but it is counterintuitive because everything else works on pedals. Okay. And we're all set. Temps coming up. Ventilation in. Low. Put this to 70. No, 80. 75. Want to keep it around 121. And here we go. Full throttle. Max RPM set. Max MP seen. So power check's good. Slowly pull her back, tap the brakes, gear up. Flaps up. Oh, flaps were up. I didn't set flaps. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't need it anyway. Right. Having a left-hand pattern, so we'll take a proper pattern exit. That's a bit harsh. Left-hand pattern exit. Set the climb. We're going for 6,000 feet. That's a safe altitude. Taxi and landing lights off. Taking our heading. Oh, what's that? To do, yeah, pausing, going to my track IR because something is interfering, so I have to do something on the camera settings. Light filter, put it higher. Yeah, there's, I don't know if you can see it, but the sun is coming out and it has been snowing all night, so it's very light outside here in the Netherlands, so that messes up with my track IR. On pause. This is better. Now I want to be at 6,000, but of course I don't want it to be in clouds. So let's see how this works out. Keeping my manifolds at 24. RPM is already 24, 2400. These are my climb settings. I'm indicating, let's say 125, but my ground speed is 105, so I have a nose component on the wind. Engine smooth sounds, no hiccups, nothing on the needles indicating otherwise. Pumps can go off. Now if I can't make 6000 due to the clouds, I will go lower again. Then I'll probably have to divert a bit instead of going on a straight radial. As you can see, I'm a bit off course, so I'm steering a bit to the right to get on the 240 radial. I'm already at the end of the power, now full power, but 23 to 24 manifold pressure is all you can manage. I must say, not having turbos or compressors doesn't help her high altitude performance, but still 6000 feet. When I say 6000 feet, I don't want 6200, I want 6000. I'm the boss here. Okay, taking throttles back to, let's say, 21. Taking RPM back to 22. I find this to be a very pleasurable setting. And leading out the engines. Let's see, I can use that lean finder. I'm climbing still, stop climbing. Lean finder. Slowly pulling back the mixtures. Found the mixture lean and I hear them going rough, so I'm going back to 12. So this is then what the lean finder is, the two blinking thingies. Now if I can remember correctly, a certain temperature, rich or lean of peak, and I forgot them. I'll look it up. Right now I am at the correct radial. You see that the radial is now in centered, so I'm going for 240. I'm at 6000. I'll do autopilot quickly. There we go. Why are you going up? Did not ask you to do that. Anyway, it will figure itself out. Let's see, flight info, cruise, normal, enrich until 50 Fahrenheit drop. Best power is enriched until 400 Fahrenheit drop. Best economy is peak EGT or lean for 25 drop. So 50 drop. If I add mixture, the temp should go down because the mixture cools the engine. If I decrease mixture, then the temps difference, yeah, but they're starting to buck already. You can hear it. Minus 50, minus 60 ish. Minus 40, minus 50. So normal, enrich until 50 Fahrenheit drop. So this is that. If I now add a bit, then it goes to 0. So I can go decrease it a bit. I would expect the temperatures to drop due to cooling of the mixture. It's not. It's adding. So enrich until have a 50 Fahrenheit drop. This is 40. Best economy is the peak EGT, so that means set it to 0. Because if I go full forward, let's check if we're not gonna hit any mountains. So full forward on the mixture. Yeah, that cools. Minus, 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 minus. That cools. Okay, putting it back. Let's keep it here. This is fine. You know, this apparatus is nice, but like I did on all the earlier flights, I do it by ear. Because you notice as soon as I pull it, let's take the right engine even more down. There, you can hear it. You can hear it roughing up. You can also see that the power drops, so that the aircraft starts to yaw. This is better. Same on the left. Blah, 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 blah. Immediately. This is good. This is good. Okay. Temps are settled. Finally finding some modus where it works. 22 degrees. Right. Autopilot off. I'm gonna hand fly. Keep 240. And now not only on the course but also on the radial. You see that the radial is basically still centered, so I'm 240, 24.5. You know, when you get out from the station and the farther you get out, the radials get more distance between them. But it doesn't really matter because we will be intercepting another one. It's not already there. No. Is it? No, it's not there yet. This should be done on 240 because I'm coming in on 240. I'm flying out on 240, so I'm also coming in on 240. It's one leg. So that should be working. Should be fine. So just a normal nice day, hand flying across Hokaido. post of a screenshot for the travel log. When I do that, I always put autopilot on real quick. Autopilot off. So what this tells me, that on this station where we hail from, I'm slightly to the right of the direct path, so I can try a bit to correct that by setting a few degrees off the course until it resettles that, and then we go back to 240. If it then wanders again, then we know that we have a slight crosswind, probably coming from the right, which pushes us off the main heading. It's not a bit of a deal today because, like I said, we have an overlap. I expect an overlap in radio ranges, VOR stations. This is funny. Different settings. This one is not blinking anymore. I really have to read up on this in the manual. What was I saying? We have an overlap in VOR ranges, so I'm guessing around maybe 100 miles out we will get a signal on the nav2 radio, so we then can follow that in instead of following the first one out. And that, because it's one leg, it should also come in at 240, so basically we're set. There's no navigational issue going on. Not like yesterday when we flew from Kamchatka all the way to Japan by VFRing over or between distinct looking islands, and then on the other side of that hoping to intercept a correct course. We did actually. It was a cool flight. Cool when a plan comes together, so to speak. So we're autopilot off, as you can see, on the Century signaler. We're roughly 6,000 feet. Heading 240, flying straight as an arrow. Ground speed is 180. And indicated speed is 185. Meaning that there's almost no wind to speak of. At this altitude, the true airspeed should be a bit higher, so that accounts for it. So I'm guessing we have a wind that is a bit on the nose and a bit cross. But not a whole lot. I'm not expecting it to be a whole lot. In any case, it doesn't really matter because, like I said, we have the navigational radios to go by. Coming over the first range, natural reserve, I think it is, with the city with the hard to pronounce name over there, along the river. We have some mountains here. I want to clear them completely over them. So let's go a little bit to the left. So we have a safe transition over the rocky bits. This means deviating from a course, but like I said, it doesn't really matter because I know where I'm coming from, so I know the straight line on 240 from that. My course line versus my chosen deviation due to the rocks, to the mountains, and the other station will come in. And any deviation found then will be rectified by then taking the correct course, which is probably not 240 but 250 for instance, something like that. Something more to the right, because we're now deviating to the left. I think this is the first time that I'm actually really hand flying the Aerostar on this trip. Crossing the Bering Strait and then the Sea of Japan, I think, around the Kurils, was all on autopilot. Mainly to alleviate the navigational stuff, you know, holding a course or a heading over water without visual stuff is hard, so you have to constantly monitor your instruments. What I'm doing now is what I've always been taught as VFR flyer in real life. Pick a point on the horizon and follow it. If you want to change that, pick a new point and follow that. If that point on the horizon is, if you're overtaking that, if it slips below your nose, take a new point in the same line as that direction. That's what I'm doing. I'm staying left of that peak. And there's a slight peak over here, which is basically my heading where I'm going to. It flies really stable. This is nice. I'm intrigued by the flashing number 2 cylinder over there, while on the other engine, the right engine, there's nothing flashing now. So like I said, I really have to read up on this tool. You can use a bigger one, but I like the old style one with the old style temperatures here. In the settings in the tablet you can use a bigger one which replaces these two, but I find it a bit odd. To me it disturbs the flow of the cockpit, the feeling of the cockpit. I like this very 60s and 60s, begin 70s style of cockpit. And of course no GPS. That's part of the challenge, not using a GPS. Cruising along nicely, 55 miles out of Memamatsu, or Memamatsu, whatever how you pronounce it. And to get back on my original track, you see that I'm now left of the track, because I deviated left due to the mountains. I can now deviate back to the right. And now I'll take a, let's say 260. And what will happen is that that line will come back, because I'm going back to my direct track, the 240 radial out of Memamatsu. When that line is back in the center, I can turn back to 240, and then I am basically back on my track. So this is the way that you can use your VOR radios and your OBS needle to not only know where you are coming from, later on where you are going, but also how to set it, basically follow the track that you want to fly, if you're left or right of that track. And we went left by choice because of the mountains over there, and going over them could have been done. But then I would have been in the clouds, so I have to go even higher. And I don't want that, because I want to be be a nice VFR. I've been looking at rocks and sea for days now. Coming over from King Salmon all the way along the Aleutian chain to Kamchatka and then down toward along the Kuril chain. So I like visuals. You see that needle creeping back in. And when it's in the center again, I'm gonna steer 240 again. If it starts creeping to the right, then I have to correct it to the right. So then I'll start flying 245 or even 250. Depends on the crosswind, and I don't know it. You know, that's part of the fun here. Of course, I looked at the weather report. I looked at the weather report for the departure airport and for the arrival airport. I don't know what's in between, and I don't know what's on altitude, because those reports are from airport readings on the ground. So if it is 3 knots on the ground, it could be 25 knots up here. I don't know, and I don't want to know, because that's part of what we call flying, being a good pilot. Sure, I can prepare, but for a VFR flight, I don't need it. I don't want it. Back to 240. Now, if that needle goes to the left, then I have to correct to the left. If that needle goes to the right, I have to correct, of course, to the right. And we're talking about this one. Just so you know. Big difference in temperatures on the exhaust gas temperatures. Doesn't really matter. Usage is the same, both 11.7 gallons an hour. So that shows you that these engines are the same style, same type engines of course, but they have different behavior, like all engines do. I don't know if it's visual on the camera, but my throttles are actually, let's say, half a centimeter apart. I'm guessing I have to steer a bit to the right. The wind is coming from the right. Okay, we have some clouds here. Going through them. I'm gonna dodge them a bit. Why? Because I'm flying VFR, and VFR means in VMC, visual meteorological conditions. So that means the law prohibits me from flying inside clouds. I need to have separation both on horizontal and vertical axis from clouds. Other than that, you don't know what's behind the cloud. You don't know what's in the cloud. It could be a mountain, it could be rocky, it could be another aircraft. Nobody knows, and you don't want to find out the hard way. There's a fun thing to do. I'm not going to do it now. In real life, for cornering coordination, is by circling a cloud, not as vague as this one, but a proper cumulus cloud, and keeping your tip of the wing inside the cloud. Because the cloud is moving, the cloud is always moving, even with low winds it's still moving. That's actually a fun exercise to do, because you're looking at the cloud, but you're operating your hands and your feet to keep that wingtip in for as long as possible. Eventually you will lose it, and then you just start again. But it gives so much control over stick and rudder by not looking ahead, but looking at your wingtip in order to keep your wingtip in that cloud. I've done this a couple of times in my training. It's so much fun to do. It was actually easier because I trained back then on touring motor gliders that have a very long wing. On a short wing, of course, it's difficult, more difficult to do because the steeps, the bends, come on, the turns, that's the word, have to be steeper. So then comes into play steep turning. You need more power. So by just looking at your wingtip and the cloud, you're doing everything that's needed to be done in order to make a safe, controlled turning with variable input on the hands, on the feet, and on the other hand on the throttle. Anyway. Why am I yawning? I see that I have a signal on the VOR2 radio. Yeah. So I'm turning this to station. This is on 240. I could now divert left in order to get the needle there, or I could just... Oh, I'm losing it again. Must be because of the windows, the windows, the mountains. But I still got this one. And I know 240 is my main heading, so all will be good. Like I said, if that comes in again and the needle is offset, I can choose to divert left a bit. To get to the proper needle, or I just turn a bit on the knob to get it to center and then follow that heading. New heading basically. It will only be off for 2, maybe 3 degrees. So it's not even worth bothering or mentioning. These clouds are just about doable to fly through. Only just. The altitude. Still don't have the signal back. I'll turn back to 240 now. Let's wait before I cross this cloud, then after that I will turn it. It's borderline okay. Visibility in front is good enough to navigate though. I've lost the signal on VOR1. That explains why I'm still going to the right off the track and the needle is not moving anymore. Because the track is now not known, because the station is out of range. Doesn't really matter, my general heading is 240. And as soon as I pick up the beacon on F2, I'll tune in on it again. Now, if that comes back, this needle will be way to the left because I've been going right from 240 to cross the mountain for more safe margin. So I will be right off track, so the needle will show the left. We're nearing the end of the mountains. Sapporo should be on the other side of that range there on the horizon. Your altitude, Toby. Watch your altitude. Hey, station 1 is becoming active again. Yeah, station 2 is still out. Oh, there goes one again. Yeah, I'm on the verge and I think the mountains don't help either. She doesn't care, he doesn't care, he doesn't care. Nobody cares. And there's station 2 again. 35 minutes, and indeed the needle is to the left. So I'm gonna steer this in and out, in and out, in and out. 237 is my new heading. So taking that up on the green triangle, the heading setting of 237. And again, if the wind is pushing me off, then I'll just compensate. Nice winter countryside. Temperature is slowly going up though. It was -10 on the ground, it's now -5 up here. The fun thing is, we are on latitude or longitude, I always forget those, 43 degrees. Which actually is something like south of France. Oh, see, you have to. That's why if you switch the screen, you have to turn on autopilot for a bit, just a bit. So you can see the difference in climates here. The climate here is very much wintry. I can imagine the Pyrenees Mountains will also be white, but the south of France itself, let's say Cannes, Hyères, Monaco, will not be very snowy. By the time we reach the south of Japan, We are basically on the same latitude, longitude I guess, of the north of Africa. Now I'm not very knowledgeable on the specific regional climates of Japan, Pacific here, but guessing it will get warmer quite fast. Now these clouds are a bit disconcerting, so I'm gonna lose my visibility to the ground. Now these were the latest mountains, so it could go down a bit. Instead of trying to peer through this haze. Shall I? Yeah, I shall. Put throttle to 15. Let's go down to, let's say, 3000. Station coming in and out, but I know my heading now, so no bother. Is good enough. Let's keep 4. So, nose, altitude, throttles back to 21. Station again. I'll add a bit more next year now because we're lower, so we need more. We have thicker air, so we also need more mix. There we go. Off to our right there, Sapporo. And there's the bay. Across the bay is a peninsula, and on the other side of that peninsula is our destination, Hokaido, which is 82 miles away, because the station is there, or roughly 28 minutes of flight in a straight line. Good stuff. nice. All in some green position. Or otherwise indicating a pressure or a load. All good. The big airfield, New Shitoza. You can already see the other end of the bay, slightly through the haze. Some kind of an updraft. Compensating for that, I don't want to climb, I want to maintain 4,000. Not a talkative bunch. This guy at least turns his head, but the rest is scared stiff. Or so it seems. Right. Passing into the bay. Minutes out. Flying day. Clear enough to view miles around. Just enough clouds at the right air level to make it interesting. Nice. Still thinks she's ugly. From the outside. Inside is great. I like that, can I view the engines, but can also view past them, so I have a clear view down. Many twins have the engines over here, more up front, meaning that it very much limits the views down. This one doesn't. It's nice. as station 1 doesn't receive anymore, I can just also point it here. It's the same station. Right, for our destination field, let's see. Oh, quite some wind still. Okay. RJ, I forgot the code. CH. Hakodate. Runway 30. 15 knots on the nose, that's quite a lot. But it's almost perfectly on the nose. Only 2 from the side. Minor showers of snow. Visibility 4,900 meters. Okay, that's not the best. So visibility should be okay enough. But there is minor snow. Okay. If not, I might still have to tune in the ILS, but let's see. ILS on the other runway. So, no ILS. I'm not landing with 50 knots tailwind. Every 2 knots tailwind means a 10% longer landing rollout. So if we take 15 knots on the tail, and for worst case scenario make that 16 knots just for calculation's sake, that's 8 times 2, so an 80% longer landing roll, 80% more than normal. Now you could do a calculation on what is the normal theoretical landing roll for a Aerostar with the current weight aboard versus the landing distance available for the airport, and if the one from the Aerostar is bigger than the LDA of the airport, then you have an issue. Or you could just land against the wind. Now I didn't do an LDA calculation, because normally for GA aircraft that's not a big deal. That's more interesting for, let's say, bigger, heavier aircraft, big turboprops, jets. Usually any runway of 2,000 feet, so let's say 700 meters is okay for any GA aircraft in general. So and 2,000 feet can always be arranged. It is cloudy over there, 45 miles out. I can see something through the haze, but it's not the greatest view. must be some land over there, but also be a shade of a cloud. Pretty sure it's a shade, like the one next to it. See that I'm actually automatically taking a slightly higher course to keep that needle in the center. So we saw a sneak peek that we have around 18 knots of side wind from the right. So to compensate keeping on our course, I'm taking a higher heading. Something that I'm basically not thinking about doing automatically, because I sense that we are drifting to the right, so I have to compensate for that. This cloud is just about no-go. Let's see what's on the other side. Clouds are going down, it seems. So that minor snow thing in the METAR may well be true. Meaning we have to go down a bit more. Probably. Now I know the landmass of the peninsula we have to cross. Highest point is roughly 2,000 feet. So if I descend, it will be to 3,000. Let's see if it's necessary or not. 8 minutes out. Well, you know that the visibility is not great, because on 25 miles, 8 minutes out, I should be able to see the coastline very clearly now. So the devil may be in the tail on this flight. Bit left of track, compensate for that. Land over there, only just. Only just. Descend to 3,000 feet. Throttles to 1500. Maintain speed by attitude. Let's see if I can just get under these clouds. If only just. Going lower because of the land. Safe altitude of 2000. No, this the land being the mountains being 2000. So that's not a safe altitude. I would keep a 1000 separation. 500 is doable, but that's not. Otherwise I have to go really low and circumvent the peninsula. I could do that, of course. Go around it. Let's see how this pans out. Going to be marginal VFR. Yeah, this sucks. Some land. Here's some land. Slightly better. If the land were flat, I wouldn't be as worried. This is, you see it glooming up. Now it is 3, maybe 4 miles of visibility. So it is enough not to hit anything at the moment. You see that? You see that? This is above my flight level. See that one in front? That's above my flight level. As soon as one cloud comes in and messes up visibility, then life can become very hard all of a sudden. I am droning on though because I can see this ridge, and the airport is 10 miles, so there shouldn't be more ridges to cross. The safest bet for sure would have been to go around the peninsula. Go to the left over there, just round it at 1,000 feet above the water, and then come back here and do a straight in landing. But it's sim, right? So real life is all good and fun. In real life I would have done that. As soon as I see water, I go down. Because the field will be on my right hand side. I'm way to the left of my track now. And I'm doing that on purpose because then I can fly in on runway 30. See, that's basically on that heading. What I'm gonna do is move this one to 30. Because even if the visibility sucks, I know that when this needle goes to the middle, I can start moving to the right. Oh, I did something stupid. .500 feet. Makes me feel all warm inside. Ooh, a gap. Hello, beautiful gap. This is how you get in the newspapers in real life. Doing stuff like this. I should have gone around the peninsula instead of over it. Oh, watch altitude. I don't want to go lower than 2500. Really don't want that. If that needle starts moving and I can see sea down there, then I can drop down to 1000. Oh, it starts moving already. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do this. Mixture's full, fine. Look forward. Landing lights on, pumps on. I've passed the beacon already. Dropping gear. Where am I going up? I don't want to go up. Pull too fast. Get your game in tow. 3 greens. Let's see if I can make this 2.5 miles. Could be well that I'm too fast, too high, then I have to go around. But I can use the coast for that. Not my best approach, to be fair. Flaps 1. Pitch full fine on the props. Oh, this sucks. Flaps 2. Flaps 3. Keep it at 30. Now I have to really look at there a runway to be found, because there's no ILS on this side. Oh, how do you get yourself in such a mess though? Trace the needle. I'm right of the runway. 0.6 miles. There's no runway to be seen. Ah, there it is. So the VOR station is not... okay. Flaps 20. Right, well at least we found an airport. Icing, structural. Why the fuck not? We have to get down fast. Like I said, the devil's in the tail on this one. Watching the temps, because I'm full throttle. Okay, this should be doable. No, don't oversteer it, don't oversteer it. Watch the speed, speed should be up. Around 100, not much lower. Runway. Full flaps. Makes me slow, but I want slow at the moment. Oh, wind. Right. Don't try this at home, kids. This is not how you do it in real life. Remind me of the turning knob. Pops off. Steer to the left, goddammit. Where's the apron here? Whew! Strobe off. Transponder off. Pumps are off. And you can see how a great flight can turn into a very nasty ending. Accumulating snow and ice. This aircraft doesn't have the icing options for the fuselage, only for the props, which kinda sucks. Because this could well mean that, well, in this weather, today I won't be flying anymore. I want to do this in real, well, not real time, but at least in simulated time and in real weather on that simulated time. So on this weather, this is the last flight for today. Nice accumulation of the wintry stuff. I have no idea where the apron is. It's certainly not here. It's all the way it's to the other end. Okay, screw that. Can I turn here? Should be able to. Yeah, with this knob, this switch setup, it's doable. You still have to be on the ball, but then you can use the brake a bit, differential braking a bit. So I drove the wrong way, because why not? And thank God for the symbol, because in real life I would not have done this. In real life I would have probably went on to another field or something and taken another approach around the peninsula instead of over it. Look at the snow accumulation. Defroster is on high. Inside temp is now 33 because I'm blowing it all up. Not seeing very much effect on the windscreen though. Windscreen does, well, basically does nothing. This aircraft. Well, the one that I fly in real life, the TL3000, doesn't even have a pitot heater, so that's asking for issues in this weather. She's not bothered though, neither is he. Oh, okay. And poof goes the ice. What's that all about? Weird. GA parking should be the first one to the right. How absolutely weird. Let's cool down inside a bit. Here we are. That's not it. This is it. Apologies. Well, this is gonna suck. Parking brake set. Cutting. Cutting. And that's it. Well, like I said, the devil was in the tail on this one. Not the very passable approach, I would say, but we made it in safely. Luckily, this bird is very well hand flyable to do, so was a bit worried about the snow and the ice accumulation because it tapers off the speed and the lift, and it doesn't have a lot of lift at low speeds, this aircraft. But yeah, all in all, not too shabby. Okay, we are in Hakodate. Let's see. Hakodate, yeah, here we are. So this is what we did. We came in, we thought, oh my god, I thought I was, okay, right, you see what I did. Here is the beacon. So I guided in and, well, came right of the runway, and I did this, keeping an eye on the coast, on the runway, and then taking a very short approach in. Very unorthodox, let's put it this way. And I should have done what I said, this. Go around, go around, go around, go around. Okay. One for the lessons to take with us. Next flight. I'm not gonna do that right now. What shall I do? Shall I go through on the northern side, or should I take the southern side? The southern side is Tokyo. I think this is Tokyo here. Yeah, this is Tokyo. Narita, yeah. I want to avoid the big airfields, so let's see. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'm gonna take, now here Hakodate. If I take the northern side, then I can take this one, Shonai, or maybe even go on toward Niigata, and then go on. Not decided yet. We'll see, but that's for the next flight. For now, this was fun. Thanks for watching, and yeah, on to the next. Cheers.